Hello, everybody. This is Mike Kane from ACN once again. Looking forward to having a little bit of time with everybody here today. We appreciate and welcome you back to our product training webinar. We hope everybody's continuing to stay safe and do what you need to do to tackle the pandemic that we're all in the midst of on the outside world. But for those of you that are at home today and working from home and doing what we need to be doing, we obviously have our 2 p.m. product training webinar that we had promised you. Today we're going to be hosting Flash Wireless, and we're going to be giving you an opportunity to really learn more about Flash Wireless, more about the wireless program, more about everything that's involved with what we're doing with our system, our business, and how to go out and get customers, how to be a customer, and the simplicity behind it all. So we're going to take a lot of the questions out of your head and kind of put them into a proper framework for you so that you can go out and tackle what's happening with our wireless deal and understand everything that's happening. So we welcome you all back to our training, and we're going to get started right now. Our host today is a regional vice president out of the Midwest in the Ohio marketplace. She's actually from Ohio, and she's actually been a big part of our company for many years, over 10 years. She's had an opportunity to participate with us and constantly be on board with where we're at, what we're doing together. Megan Williams is going to actually be taking care of you today. She'll offer you all the insights that you need about Flash Wireless. She's one of our experts in the wireless division too when it comes to the products and trainings. So you've seen her on the national stage, the regional stage. Now you get an opportunity to see her here with what we're doing right in your own backyard, in the comfort of your home. So enjoy it. Megan, I'll hand it over to you now.
Thank you so much, Mike. I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to share with everybody. First off, I got to give it back to Mr. Mike Kane and our amazing marketing team for setting these up for us. What great leverage as we're building our teams to get an opportunity to actually learn all about the products without having to be the experts ourselves. So this is a really great advantage for all of us. And for those of you who might be new to ACN, don't be nervous if you don't know everything the first chance you get. I've been working with ACN now for 17 years, and I absolutely love every single product that we get. But I will tell you that Flash Wireless is kind of my favorite. And there's so much added value we can give to people because of this product that I want you to get excited and comfortable. So as you get your notepads out today and you're going to take some notes, I want you to know that we've been getting these services, and even right now in this time, we're getting these services consistently across the board. So it's not going to limit us. In fact, it's going to make it better. And we're going to go through how and why that is such a great fit today. So I'm really excited about it. So we're going to jump right into Flash Wireless and get things going for everybody, as we really are so excited about what is possible for all of us with Flash Wireless. So first things first, Flash is phenomenal in the sense that we have 2 of the largest networks. So one of the advantages is we're generically branded. And because we're generically branded, it gives us more value and some leeway. And when we get to work with 2 of the best networks, America's fastest, most reliable network is our green, and then we've got Sprint's 4G is our yellow. So as I go through this, I'm going to refer to them as green and yellow just to make it simple, but it's so nice when people just don't know what's possible. And so when we introduce Flash to other people, they're very pleasantly surprised, which is fantastic, because these options are really cool because of our direct sales approach, which is awesome. All right. I am learning how to be technologically advanced, so don't anyone think that you have to be perfect at this either, so it's wonderful. Now, let's talk about some options for the customer and how we can bring them more value. But with the option to pick from 2 networks, it gives us more choices and more price points. And so that's going to be a variable that is important to people. The next thing that's so neat is a lot of people can bring their own device, which we're going to talk about that today and what it takes. But the nice thing, especially right now, is bringing your own device helps to keep the costs low, which is really nice. But some people want to have the latest and greatest, and they want to have new devices. We're going to learn about our partnership with Best Buy. We're going to see how single plans and family plans can be used. And we've got different choices between unlimited and data usage and you'll find out some of the nuances that are really good. So let's first talk about data use, because that's one of the biggest questions. Or sometimes when we present this, people are like, oh, I'm unlimited, I'm fine. But what we find is, first off, unlimited isn't always unlimited. They have different tiers in the different carriers. The other thing we find out is a lot of people are only using so much data. I come across a ton of people paying for unlimited pricing and they're using 2 gigabytes of data. Well, this gives us a huge option and a lot of playing room and wiggle room to get creative and really bring the customer more value. And I will tell you that sometimes people don't even know what they're really paying and what they're getting. And so as we help people look through it, we can really bring added value. The other great thing about Flash Wireless is that there's no contracts or credit checks and no early termination fees. So we really can, all right, I'm gonna get this thing to work perfectly. We really can see the best of both worlds. Now let's talk a little bit about Best Buy. The cool thing about Best Buy is, one, it's credibility. It's a company people know, like, and trust. And the fact that right there on Flash Wireless, our customers can order a new phone, they can actually show up and pick it up, it can be mailed to them, and when they're all done, they can turn in their old phone and get a store credit for later. That's really neat. The other good thing is, if somebody's not so tech savvy and they feel a little uncomfortable about being, using their phones, when you buy a phone through Best Buy, their techs will help them set it up, change data around, which again is sometimes the concern. So this is great added value. The other great thing that comes with Flash Wireless is when you bring your own device, it's very, very simple. And I love this because sometimes you've got a couple of members of the family. Some people want a new device, some people want to keep their old device. And we have the ability to have the best of both worlds. So if someone gives you a concern or, oh, my phone is getting old, I might need something new, great, we have an option. Some people say, hey, I just paid my phone off, it works great. Great, we have an option. So again, we're looking at options, and that's what Flash Wireless is so good. When we're talking to people, we just want to see if there's a fit and that we can give them some better value and options. And so we're going to talk a little bit about checking compatibility, getting a SIM card, and picking the right plans here in just a few minutes. But the last added value that is so incredible for customers and for IBOs. And this is really important to stress as you're talking about Flash Wireless to people. This refer a friend and get free is for everyone, not just IBOs. In fact, one of my favorite things, I've been doing Flash Wireless for 9 years since it started. And they started this program, and my customers who just loved that they had better value, they'd been a customer, would tell people. They would tell people, hey, have you talked to Megan? And now all it takes is a phone number with a referral. And after the 5th referral, they get their service up to free. And that's really incredible. So we've got these added values that are great for the customer. But in a time like today, we really are excited that our partnerships allow us to feed hungry children and families here in the United States. So when we acquire a customer, we are able to feed a child and help a family. And right now, where we're not able to go to school, and trust me, I've got 3 boys at home, they eat a ton. And I remember when this plan or this partnership came up, and ACN has really done amazing things with it. But it really meant a lot to me because I couldn't believe, because I taught high school years ago, all the kids who need those foods, that food out there. And now that our schools are shut down, this is a really big deal to know that when we acquire a customer, we're giving back to the community. And if you guys were at my house and saw how much my kids ate, you would be excited about this program too. I remember when it first came out, I went out and got 30 accounts because I wanted to know that that was making a difference. And it really is added value when we're talking to people. And we could say something simple like, what if your cell phone bill could bring more value? And one of the things you add and include is the fact that we work with Project Feeding Kids and Feeding America, which is phenomenal for our local food banks. I love that. So let's just summarize some of the value that we are able to bring our customers as we talk to them. We've got 2 of the largest networks. People can get new phones or bring their own devices. They can pick between plans that is going to give them added value, better resources, and usually more options, which is incredible. There's no contracts, no credit checks, and no early termination fees. We can refer friends and have the amazing reward of up to free on our cell phone service. And then we work with Feeding America. So again, these are all points that as you're out talking to people or you're on social media, you can just hit one or two of these points as you're bringing value. And again, most of us don't know that our cell phone bill can be valuable. Now, for us as IBOs, it's extremely valuable because we can make money from it. And we want to get good and efficient so that we can build our residual income, so that we can see our company grow and have equity, and we can have lots of good, returns on our time and investment. But ACN really did this great with Flash Wireless. So I'm going to take us through the how-tos for just a few minutes. I'm going to weave a couple stories in because I'm going to tell you that right now is a great time to be doing this because people are getting used to the Zoom idea. And so it's really great. You can connect with someone over Zoom, share screens, and the process becomes so simplified because you're doing it together. And that is a really great added advantage that the terrible thing it's actually helped and enlightened us in some good ways. Because today I decided I'm looking at positive things that have happened because of us being at home, which is kind of crazy. So let's talk a little bit about the process. Now, the first thing you want to have when you work with someone is you want to have the checklist already filled out. Now, this is located on acncompass.com under products. It is really incredible because you just have to go into products, residential, Flash Wireless, and you'll see it down under tools is where it's at. It's called tools. Found that the other day. And what's nice about this is that this really gets you prepared. So I'll give you a fun story. So in my family, my mother is Senior Vice President, Miss Martha Hunt. And she called me up on Monday. She said, I have a customer. I want to make sure we sign them up correctly. And so we set up a time to get on Zoom with the customer, her and I. And it was so cool because we got ready and they had filled out the whole checklist. I was so proud of her for getting them prepped and ready to go that the process to sign them up was simple. And it was 4 phones, 4 lines, and it was a bunch of all these college kids who are home. The parents put them all on one plan. They got more data, more value, and for the price point. And it was a great process and very simple because she was prepared with the checklist. So what are the key things on this checklist that you need to have? There are 4 that are the most important. You need to have the MEID or the IMEI of the phone. It's under settings in general. The other thing you need to have is you need to know what kind of phone is it. Is it an Android or an iPhone? That's helpful. You need to have the account for where it's coming from and the PIN. And if it's coming from an account that maybe they're just a participant in, you need to have that name and address for that account. So those are the things you really want to have when it comes to the account to be ready, but the checklist gets you prepared, which is so fantastic, and it eliminates all the different concerns. But let's talk a little bit about phones. So phones come from different networks, and there's different equipment or hardware in the phones for antennas. They are also locked most of the time in all the different carriers. That means it only works with that carrier. So ACN and Flash Wireless have a really great way to check and make sure that the phone is unlocked and that the hardware will work on our system. So I'm going to take us through this for just a minute. So on the green network, no matter which plan you're picking, if you put the MEID number into the check compatibility place, it's going to tell you the device is passed if it has the correct hardware that can work on our 2 networks. So that's really important. And then to make sure that the phone is unlocked and that it can come to our network, you would go to the Flash Yellow tab, check compatibility, and there it would come up, either ready to go or it's not able to come into our system. That way, you know that the phone has been unlocked by their previous carrier. Now, this is really important because the worst thing that could happen is you would get done with the whole order, they're putting the SIM card in, they're trying to activate it, and the screen is just white. It's not reading it. It means it's still locked in their old carrier. And we don't want a port to go through with a number and have the phone not work. So it's really easy. Just highlight it and check both. No matter which carrier you're picking, check them on both. And then you'll always know the hardware works and the phone is unlocked. So then you're ready to go. So that's a good little tip I want to make sure you guys know about. Now, the great thing about this little checklist, I'm going to tell you, it follows the website perfect. So if you want to take a screenshot here, this is really, really great because it keeps it simple. You know, the big thing when we're working with people and we're helping them set up services is simplicity. So whether we're working with a new IBO or we're working with a customer, we want the process to be very seamless. So you've checked the MEID, you have the information on the checklist ready to go, and now you're going to pick your network. Now I'm going to tell you, if you're looking for unlimited plans, you're going to want to go Flash Yellow. If you want a family plan, Flash Yellow. If you're looking for solid network with great pricing and single lines, you're going to go Flash Green. It's a lot of times a really good option. Now you can have single lines on our yellow plan too, but it's interesting because depending on what people pick, those will be your plans. Now, one last thing I want to say about that is you can have single line plans in the same account in Flash Wireless as long as they're on the same network. So maybe you might have a phone coming from a family plan on one of the carriers, and it's better to put them on a single plan, 3 GB data with our Flash Green. And maybe they have 3 lines. I actually just did this the other day. We had 2 lines we brought over from their old carrier. We picked Flash Green. For one of them was a 6 GB, and then we added the second line in as a 3 GB. They were considered single plans, but they were in the same account. The price point was tons of value for them, and what was so good is that they actually got a little bit more for their money than they had before. So again, when we're picking plans, we can get creative and kind of put things together which is the right fit. Now, one other aspect I want you to know about is when you're going through the process and you put the MEID number into the system, most of us don't have a SIM card available. In fact, right now where we're social distancing, we can't go to people's houses and bring them. So one of the coolest features of Flash Wireless is you get a free SIM. And I recommend this for every single order that you put through. So if you're on the green network, you're gonna get a SIM, and the same kind of SIM can go with every model phone. But on the yellow network, Sprint uses different SIMs for the type of phone. So this feature is wonderful because when you put the MEID number in, and you say, send me a SIM, Flash Wireless is so smart, it sends the correct SIM to that customer and you don't have to stress about it. Plus, their service never turns off until the SIM arrives when we log back in and then activate it and start the port. So that's really important too. So I want you to know that this is a very seamless thing. The order entry is really just that now, because once you hit the free SIM, you pick your plan, and now you're gonna go through just data entry, account number, PIN, name and address where it's coming from. And then later on, you're gonna put in the IBO number, or if you're doing a refer, you'll take the IBO number out, you'll put in the phone number, and then you agree to those conditions and use a debit or credit card to log out. So it's very, very nice and very seamless. Now, there are tools that can help you remember all this. And I love that ACN has put everything kind of together. First thing is Flash Wireless itself is all digital. There's tons of questions and answers right there on the website that you can look under for support. Another great thing is on our ACN Compass, you can submit a case to ask questions, or you can chat with Flash Wireless Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I would recommend that this is your first time doing it to only submit an order during those times, because that way, if you have a question, you can chat with them while you're working with your customer. And it really gets it very easy. I know the other day, one of my customers sent me a message and said, hey, I need to update my credit card. They were able to go right online and do it. And then they sent me back a message and said, hey, chat verified, they're really great, and we were done. Like, it was so great. I mean, it's such a great utility for us to use. The other good thing is in the ACN Compass, under the Development Center, we have a ton of e-learning. So you can watch videos to learn and understand this better. But we've got tools that can help you be in a good spot. Now, a couple things about Flash I want you guys to know is that sometimes we feel like it might be scary learning something new. But I want you guys to know that if we keep it simple, it's not scary at all. It really is just putting in the information and let the technology do its work. And so a couple things I just wanted to throw out there is, what could we maybe say to people? How can we bring that value to them so that we can get the kind of results that we really want? You know, again, I love Zoom. I love social media because we can connect with people. But some of the things we could say is, hey, I have added value right now while we're home and I'm working from home. Would you be open to see if it's a fit for you? You know, we want to see if it's a fit. See, people are very fickle about their cell phones, and we don't want them to think that they're going to be pressured to something. But we want to talk about what we're doing. We're working from home. We're supplementing. But we have added value that our wireless bill could do. Would you let them see if it's a fit? And sometimes I even use the word practice. Could I just look at your bill and practice and learn about what your carrier does versus mine? People are really open to that, especially right now where we're just sitting at home and there's nothing else to do. They can just send you a picture of it and send it over. So it's not bad at all. The other great thing is that when we ask people just to see if there's a fit, it takes the concern away. And I really have found that that's been a good thing to say. We always want to say our why, but I love this idea that we're not going to pressure anyone, because sometimes they've got teenagers and those teenagers use so much data, we might not be the right fit. Other times they might be on grandfathered plans, and that's okay too. It might not be a fit. But sometimes I find that as I go through, we're able to kind of move things around and get a little creative. We really can bring them really great value. And I love that because it really helps to show people that we're out for their interest. Yes, we're building a business. Yes, we want to have, you know, the residuals in the back end, but we want to do it right. We want to do it where people will want to work with us, that they'll remember it's a good experience, and they will refer you to other people. And that's really key. So in summary, I forgot about the most important part too. Woo, we're not in summary yet. Okay, now as IBOs, let's talk about that value. So we talked about the stuff for the customer. Now it's our turn. One of the cool things about Flash Wireless is that we get bigger points for our lines. So let's just imagine the game of basketball, which I do miss watching, by the way. So we look at basketball. You've got 1-pointers up to 3 points when you get those outside shots. And everyone always cheers because sometimes that will just make or break a game. Well, that's how this is with Flash Wireless. We get to earn up to 4 points for single lines and up to 8 points. And we get residual of the lifetime of the customer. So Flash Wireless really has amazing added value for us because we're trying to grow our business and get to eventually that 20% of commissionable revenue. And what's so great is these services move it faster. So if you did somebody who might have been, 3 or 4 lines for one family, you could see some really good things. So let's talk about what's happening in April because it's even better. We've got another added value for our customer. The coolest part right now in April is that anyone who ports a number over, that means they keep their same number, the activation is waived. Now, this is probably the number one question I get when I talk to people about their wireless. The first question they said is, can I keep my number? Absolutely. You want to bring customers and keep their numbers. The ratio of your customers lasting for a lifetime is keeping that phone number. See, I've had customers now for 9 years on Flash Wireless, and yes, they have changed their phones throughout those years, but they've never changed their number. So when they just change a phone, they swap the SIM out and go to the new phone, and they keep that great value in our service. And so right now, this is a huge deal. The fact that we can waive activation by eliminating part of that, our customers see the value right away, especially if they have 2, 3, 4 lines they might be bringing over, because sometimes a customer will put one line over and then use the other 2 to help them towards their free service. So waiving that activation is huge. And on our family plans, the activation is a little higher. So again, added value. So right away, they see the great value that Flash can really be for them. Now, the second cool component of right now in April is that we get more points. So for example, I was telling you the story of setting up the 2 lines. Instead of just getting 6 points, we got 6 points per line this last week. Now, this is really exciting because this will compound your efforts even faster. And so for those of you working with new team members and they're helping their customers, this is an added value to have urgency and excitement right now. We can give back to the customer by eliminating the activation fee, and they get more points to help their business grow faster. And we know that we want points to help in every aspect, whether it's a position or residuals. It's incredible. So this is a huge blessing, and we got to give ACN a big shout out and thank you for that. So those are just some really good things for us. And again, lifetime of the customer residual is phenomenal. So let's just hit a few of these points. Just to remember, all right, we've got more points this month. So we want to take action right away. Free activation for our customers. So they're going to see more value. A lot of times, better data plans, the right fit. Sometimes there's even a little bit of savings, but the key is more value long-term. And the best part is we get residuals for the lifetime of the customer. And with these extra points, we move through the percentages and thresholds faster to get us to 20% on our commissionable revenue. And that is huge. The other great thing we need to make sure we're always remembering is that we want to refer people, and we want to share with them, hey, thank you so much for being my customer. We have this amazing plan. With referrals, after the 5th one, Flash Wireless will actually credit your account, and you can have up to free service minus the taxes. Would you do me a favor? Would you say something good about Flash Wireless on your social media? Will you go out there and help me talk to some people, or maybe think of some people who might want to have more value with their service and their wireless, so that I'll help them, but you'll get the credit. And that's a really great thing for our customers. And it's free advertising for us and a great way for us to connect with more people. So we really want to take an active role to help our customers, teach them how to refer, how to make a nice comment, to take a picture of themselves saying, my phone works, I've got a new carrier, I love it. Something like that can keep us connected. We also get to feed children when we acquire these customers, and that is a huge added value right now in this time. Again, a sense of urgency. And then, of course, this technology is phenomenal because we can link together, do the process with the person. It's not weird or strange. As we share the screen with them, we're looking at their screen as they're entering it. We can help them do everything the right way, so there won't be the human flaw involved with that. So I want to give everybody a little call to action. It's the middle of the month of April, and we have these great incentives. So what kind of story have you created in ACN right now? Do you have free service? Maybe that should be your goal this month. Maybe you want to get out there and say, hey, I'm working on a promotion to have free cell phone service for my family. It's going to be great added value in this time. Would you support me and let me see if what I'm doing could be a fit for you? I'll even teach you what I'm doing. We want to get out there and we want to create a story, because how can we tell people it's possible if we haven't done it ourselves? So I want to give that challenge. If you don't have free service yet, make that happen for you. Create that for yourself and your family. How about increased percentages on your residual? Have you moved a threshold recently? Maybe give yourself a goal this month to say, you know what, I'm going to grow my business and my customer base with Flash, and I'm going to hit that next percentage. I'm going to hit 10%. I'm going to hit 14%. and see what it does to your belief system as you get those reoccurring checks because you took a little time right now and connected with people and brought them great value, but then you get to win at the same time. Now, that's really the last thing I just want to end with is connecting with people. You know, one of the great things about ACN is we all get to make money and create something for our families, but we don't do it at the expense of others. We do it by connecting and doing something really good for them. And I just feel honored that over the years that I've been able to bring a great reputation with me on all of our services and the experiences, and Flash Wireless 100% has been that for us and our families. And ladies and gentlemen, I love it. I think it's phenomenal. It's very simple and it's fun. It's so much fun when we can bring added value to other people. And just remember that when you're thinking about others, you win too. And that's what I love about this business and our company. And so I hope today we learned a little more tricks and tips to be really successful at this. And so I'm just so glad I had a chance to say hello. Mike, thank you so much for including me today and letting me have an opportunity to be a trainer and to say hi to everyone and connect.
Megan, thank you so much. I'll tell you what, as long as I've been in the company and listening to, having the opportunity to know Flash, you just really landed some great tips even on myself. It's tremendous that you yourself and your husband, Ryan, have been such an asset to the company, period. But we appreciate offering some extra advice and some tips and some great training here today. Just a couple of quick questions too is, I think you hit on them great today. And I think it's just awesome to know, because a lot of people always say, well, which network should I be on? Why is Flash on 2 networks? And if you really look at it for everybody in the field, when you're looking at this for the first time, I think most of us know which networks are best work at home, and some people may be on a network that doesn't work so good at their home. So they have options, and I think with our plans, and you went through all that, would you agree that when you're talking to your customers, like Flash is not like it doesn't have to be a one size fits all, like, and a lot of carriers seem to kind of cater to that market,
Absolutely. I would say that's one of the best things. I was just working with a new client in an IBO in Texas, and both networks were great there. So he was used to one network, but then he saw the price point with our unlimited plans on Flash Yellow, and that was a great fit for them. And he didn't even know that that was an option. So I think sometimes we get used to one thing and we don't know that, there could be some choices. And I want to caution everybody, you need to make sure what works in your area when you're picking the plans, but you'd be so surprised how much, being creative and looking at both of them gives you really a ton more options with people, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's such a highlight of the whole Flash network, and we truly believe that's why we ride on 2 different networks as well. Another thing you had mentioned, just to clarify for everybody, the MEID number and how important it is one thing, but maybe you can let everybody know where that's located. Sometimes it's in the phone, maybe they're on the hardware itself. Just to sometimes we talk in these terms and we don't realize where that stuff is at on the other side.
And I really appreciate that. So I apologize for all of us non-techie people. So a little older phones, the MEID or IMEI number, so it can be both, either one works, is on the back of the phones. You can see it sometimes we have to get a magnifying glass like me, I'm a little bit older, to find it that way. The second place you can find it, whether it's an iPhone or an Android, it's under our settings. There's also a code that is on Flash Wireless. It's a #06 code, star and then pound again, just so you know. And it will come up on the phone. But the easiest thing is to go into settings under general. And in an iPhone, it's about the device, and you can see it. And under an Android, it has a status. You click on the status and you can find the number there too. But in the settings, and a lot of times you can even type in MEID and it will come up under search too.
And perfect. And I noticed you spent a little time on locked and unlocked phones and how we want to work unlocked phones. Unlocked phones just means the previous carrier no longer has an attachment to that phone. That's right. A lot of times, sometimes the carriers still have an attachment, even if it's by accident, right? So Unlocked is to make sure that the phone is either paid off. It might be an old phone, or it might be a phone that you've had, but you want to make sure that the phone is unlocked so that you can simply add into it. And the last thing, I guess, I know that we talk about it so easily, and we've been around the industry for a while, is even a SIM card. I know some people even get confused. What is a SIM card, and what do I do? I know it seems a lot more apparent nowadays, but the SIM card is nothing complicated. And there you go. Maybe Megan going to show you what it looks like, and it's so tiny.
It is. Now, people will say to you, I don't have a SIM card. Oh, yeah, I've got both. So I've got my Sprint SIM cards and I've got my green ones. So in the side of the phone or the top of the phone, there is a little spot that you can remove a SIM card. Now, I have a little trusty paper clip, so I'll show you in my little paper clip will pop open a phone at any time. And I even have a little demo one right here. It's so simple. You just sit it into the little circle and you press down and it pops right open like this. Yeah. And a lot of times when we're working with people, we just tell them when that SIM card comes, make sure you have a little paper clip, and then you can walk them through how to pop it open, put the new SIM card in and down. The best thing and the most important thing is have them see if the gold was up or the gold was down. Our newer iPhones, the gold goes up. On the older iPhones, on 8s and below, the gold goes down. So little trips.
Wonderful.
Practice, guys. It's good.
And you just showed everybody on Zoom how to do it. So thank you very much. So that concludes our training here today. Go out, become a customer, get a customer. If you're not getting free service yet, this is your opportunity to help yourself out and your own families. And then for families that are on wireless, would love to have a free wireless at this particular time, or attach themselves to an opportunity to get some free wireless. There's not a better opportunity in Flash Wireless. People are sitting at home. We know now more than ever how important our cell phones are, and the wireless and the connections that we want to continue to have. We have a great program for you. We've got great bonuses happening for the month of April. And you did a phenomenal training here today, Megan. So myself, we thank you. The co-founders thank you. All of ACN, we really, really appreciate it. So, with that understanding is that this product training is over. We welcome you back, but we'll be looking forward to having everybody back online with us next week. Our next training is going to be with Dish, the Dish satellite program. That'll be on Tuesday, April 21st at 4 p.m. So do make a note of that, is that our training schedules for our product trainings are going to change next week from 2 p.m. Eastern time, which they've been this week. We're going to move them all to 4 p.m. starting next week. So we're going to have a training starting Tuesday, and we're looking to have another training on Thursday, possibly Wednesday and Thursday too. We'll let you know as the week progresses here. But on behalf of everybody at ACN, have a blessed day.